Hello and welcome everyone to today's lesson. So today we're going to be looking at the speaking style of Ben Carson, who was a candidate in the 2016 presidential election on the Republican side. Now Ben Carson has a very distinct speaking style, and specifically I want to take a look at him because his speaking style drastically changed from the beginning of his campaign towards the end. So I have a few excerpts of some of his speeches. We'll take a look at those and we'll analyze them, and let's just get right into it.
Aspect of our lives. And then, the government has insinuated itself with all of these regulations, 81,000 pages of new regulations last year. And look at what that cost us. Almost $2 trillion, $24,000 per family of four. That happens to be also the poverty level for a family of four. So if you want to fight poverty, why not get rid of some of all these regulations? That I think makes a whole lot more sense than anything else. And then, I have a lot more to say, but I'm going to wrap it up here by simply saying we Americans must be proud of who we are. We cannot give away our values and principles for the sake of political correctness. And, there are those... There are those who go around proclaiming separation of church and state. You can't put anything up that has anything to do with God, certainly nothing to do with Jesus Christ. And, I'll have a seizure if I see a cross and all this kind of crap, The fact of the matter is, do they realize that our founding document, the Declaration of Independence, says we have certain unalienable rights given to us by our Creator, a.k.a. God. That the Pledge of Allegiance says we are one nation under God. Most courtrooms on the wall, it says, in God we trust. Every coin in our pocket, every bill in our wallet says, in God we trust. If it's in our founding documents, it's in our pledge, in our courts, and it's on our money, but we're not supposed to talk about it. What in the world is that? In medicine, we call it schizophrenia. And doesn't that explain a lot of what's going on in our nation? And we need to make it perfectly clear that it's okay to live by godly principles of loving your fellow man, caring about your neighbor, developing your God-given talents to the utmost so that you become valuable to the people around you, having values and principles that govern your life. And if we do that, not only will we remain a pinnacle nation, but we will truly have one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
I have to start out by saying one very important thing. I'm not politically correct. And I hate political correctness because it's antithetical to the founding principles of this country. And the secular progressives use it to make people sit down and shut up while they change everything. It's time for us to stand up and shout out about what we believe in. I devoted my career to studying and operating on the human brain. This remarkable organ defines our humanity. It gives us the ability to not only feel and observe, but to reason. When we elect a president, we need to use that power of reasoning to look at their history, their character, what kind of people they really are. It makes all the difference in the world for us. And it is going to be so critical right now. We must resist the temptation to take the easy way out and to passively accept what is fed to us by the politically elite and the media, because they don't know what they're talking about, but they have an agenda. Now, we must also be wary of the narrative that's being advanced by some in our own party. The notion that a Hillary Clinton administration wouldn't be that bad, the effects would only be temporary. That it would only last for 4 and at most 8 years. They're not using their God-given brain to think about what they're saying, because it won't be 4 or 8 years, because she will be appointing people who will have an effect on us for generations, and America may never recover from that. That's what we have to be thinking about. You know, interestingly enough, we have to start thinking about what would Hillary Clinton do if she was in fact the president. She would appoint Supreme Court justices, she would appoint federal judges, and that would have a deleterious effect on what happens for generations to come. Not only that, but she would continue with a system that denigrates the education of our young people, puts them in a place where they're never going to be able to get a job, where they're always going to be dependent, and where they can therefore be cultivated for their votes. This is not what America is all about, this kind of deception. And this is what we, the people, have the necessary obligation to fight. Now, one of the things that I have learned about Hillary Clinton is that one of her heroes, her mentors, was Saul Alinsky. And her senior thesis was about Saul Alinsky. This was someone that she greatly admired and that affected all of her philosophies subsequently. Now, interestingly enough, let me tell you something about Saul Alinsky. He wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. On the dedication page, it acknowledges Lucifer, the original radical who gained his own kingdom. Now, think about that. This is a nation where our founding document, the Declaration of Independence, talks about certain inalienable rights that come from our Creator. This is a nation where our Pledge of Allegiance says we are one nation under God. This is a nation.
So after watching those Ben Carson speech excerpts, let's just go ahead and
this is a nation where every coin in our pocket and every bill in our wallet says, "In God we trust." So are we willing to elect someone as president who has as their role model somebody who acknowledges Lucifer? Think about that.
That essentially said that he is quite calm and
collected. The secular progressive agenda is antithetical to the principles of the founding of this nation. And if we continue to allow them to take God out of our lives, God will remove himself from us. We will not be blessed, and our nation will go down the tubes. And we will be responsible for that. We don't want that to happen. Now, Donald Trump, he understands this very well. He understands that the blessings of this nation come with the responsibility to ensure that they are available to all, not just the privileged few. This is exemplified by his willingness to take on the establishment against all odds. It is evident in his passion for the American worker. It is found in his desire to put his considerable skills to work on behalf of American interests, not his self-interest. I'm proud to support Donald Trump, an extraordinary businessman, the right leader for a time such as this.
The second person in line, because usually you would want someone who is a leader to be able and capable of speaking loudly.
It is not about Donald Trump.
Previously, Ben Carson
it is not about me.
Really showing us that he was
about
capable
we,
of doing
the
so.
people. And Thomas Jefferson said that we would reach this point because we, the people, would not be paying attention, and it would allow the government to grow, to expand, and to metastasize, and to try to rule us. But he said, before we turn into something else, we, the people, would recognize what was going on, what we were about to lose, and we would rise up, and we would take control of our nation. And I say now is the time for us to rise up and take America back.
Things that we want to see when we're trying to improve our public speaking. And I think that Ben Carson is probably one of the perfect examples of someone who massively improved their skills, whether it be through training or some sort of speech class. Ben Carson very clearly had this evolution where he learned the things that he was having trouble with and then improved upon them, and we can actually literally see the improvements when we put the two videos side by side. We can see that Ben Carson actually understands that his volume needs to be louder. He needs to have more pronounced facial expressions and hand gestures. And in general, he needs to control the room better. And these are things that we can very clearly see in the second clip. And it's very good to see that he made such a drastic change to so drastically change the quality of his speeches. And I think taking into account everything that Ben Carson ends up doing, it actually makes him a very strong speaker right now. Well, with that said, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this content, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. Also, comment down below on what future videos you would like to see. And with that said, everyone, thank you for watching and have a great day.